So during the intralace laser, the first laser, keep both eyes open. The second laser really was not a big deal. It was just really noisy, so it's a little bit unnerving. It was helpful for me that the technician repeated out to the surgeon how long that laser was going to be going for, so I knew it would be about 30 seconds on one eye, and I think the other eye was about 25 seconds. That was helpful. And then they count down the last 10 seconds, because it actually is kind of hard to keep your focus for 30 seconds straight. So after those two procedures, then the surgeon put the flap back over my eye, the cornea, and that third part of the surgery where he was smoothing out the cornea took the longest, actually. So he did several different things to smooth out the cornea and make sure that it was completely smooth with no wrinkles or gaps, thank goodness. And then they walked me into an exam room, and the surgeon looked at my eyes again to make sure, again, that the corneas were smooth. And actually, my left flap was not smooth. So he got a giant syringe from a nurse and, I don't know, I guess squirted saline or something on my eye to make it smooth out. And that didn't hurt. I had the anesthetic drop in still. So it was fine. There was no pain until about an hour after I got home, by which time, of course, my friend had left. I could not see because my eyes were watering so much, and so, as I said, I couldn't call anyone. That was a bummer. My surgeon had told me to expect a lot of liquid to come out of my eyes. Thank goodness, because it was a lot, and I think I would have been nervous or concerned otherwise. So that's why the Kleenex. You want to have lots and lots of tissue, because my nose was running profusely, my eyes were watering, lots of stuff was coming out of my eyes. And it was helpful to have the Kleenex just to dab my cheeks and my nose. I didn't touch my eyes at all. After surgery, they put these plastic discs over my eyes. They were, about that big. They taped them at the top so that I could lift up the flap and put drops in. And so there were 3 different kinds of drops that I used at different times during the day. That was kind of a lot to keep track of, but thankfully I took 3 days off from work, so I had time to adjust and to rest, and I was really glad I had taken that much time off. The surgeon actually told me at my 24-hour post-surgery checkup, "Oh, you can go back to work today." And I looked at him like he was crazy. He has not had the LASIK surgery because his vision is perfect, lucky guy. So, I could have gone back to work in terms of the health of my eyes, but I was definitely tired and had no desire to be on a computer, and my eyes were still kind of sensitive to light, particularly from the computer. So let's see, next tip. Oh, if I haven't said this already, if you're by yourself, it's a good idea to have somebody who will check in on you, to call you maybe every hour and a half to 2 hours for the first, I would say, 10 hours after surgery, because I was not able to see because of my eyes watering so much. I couldn't see my phone enough to dial or to text. So the people who were on call didn't get called, and I was really wishing one of them would call me. So you might want to have somebody call if you don't have someone to stay with you. There was a 24-hour post-surgery checkup, and then a 1-week surgery checkup. At the 24-hour checkup, that's when I learned that my vision had gone from worse than, as he said, much worse than 20/400. I couldn't even see anything on the chart, to better than 20/20. And, that still brings tears to my eyes. It's so overwhelming. I actually cried in the office, and I thought, wow, what a wonderful job for this surgeon to have, because that's the kind of reaction he gets to hear. I know not everybody has better than 20/20, but I think it is pretty common. So it was wonderful. I'm glad I went through it. They said that I could wear makeup 3 days after surgery, but I chose not to. I chose to wait actually 6 weeks, mostly because my right eye was still swollen and red and irritated, and I just didn't want to take any chances at all. I didn't want to put any pressure on my eyes to remove the makeup, and that's why I chose not to wear any. And I'm glad that I did. I actually have had no complications. My healing has gone very well and very speedy. The drops that you use after surgery, and I'm sure the anesthetic, everything that's coming out of your eyes, get caked onto the lashes. So for me, I didn't touch my eyes. You're not supposed to touch your eyes. You're not supposed to even really open your eyes for the first 24 hours, and I followed those rules. So when I got to my appointment 24 hours after surgery, my eyes were completely caked. It was gross. Their tech rinsed off my lashes, which was very helpful. But then after I had gotten home, within 2 more applications of drops, my lashes were caked up again. And since I could not get water in my eyes for 2 weeks, I actually figured out a way to clean off my lashes in the shower without even touching my eyes. So I stood in the shower and I let the water run over my head and then just cascade down over my eyes. So there was no pressure from the water, and it really was soothing. It felt great, and I found that the caked on stuff just rinsed right off. I did lose quite a few lashes the first 2 weeks, and I wasn't happy about that, but thankfully it stopped as soon as I stopped with those drops. So I don't know if it was the caking stuff or if it was the drops themselves, but you might expect to lose a few lashes and just know they'll come back. But to dry off my eyes after I got out of the shower, I actually had like a flour sack, kind of really soft, thin kitchen towel. And that was very helpful. I just dabbed my eyelashes, and that way there was no pressure at all. I was nervous that my bath towel might be too thick. So that's a tip that you might find helpful. Be prepared for bruising. That is very common. It does clear up within 2 to 3 weeks typically. That's how long my left eye took. My left eye was bruised, but it wasn't terrible, and it did take that long. So let me think here. If your eyes are really dry, you might ask your surgeon about getting prescription drops. That's what I did. I'm taking Restasis. It's a drop I take twice a day for 3 months. So I have about 3 more weeks on it, and it seems to be helping. And then I also, 2 weeks ago, I got punctal plugs, which is where they put these little plugs in the lower tear ducts, and it simply makes the opening smaller. It doesn't completely plug them, but that just made all the difference in the world. 2 weeks ago when I went in for a checkup, I was putting in re-wetting drops, I think 6 or 8 times a day or more. And when I told the surgeon that, he was surprised, and he said, you shouldn't have to do it that often. So he put in the punctal plugs. It didn't hurt at all, and they did scratch against the white part of my eye a little bit because of the way that my tear duct, my lower lid is shaped. So a couple of days later, I went back and I asked if he could do anything, and he actually just pushed them very gently right below the surface. And oh my God, it was perfect. It's perfect. My eyes are very, very comfortable now. And he did say that would make it harder to remove the punctal plugs if we ever need to, but I don't see any need to. I had punctal plugs for 10 years, and they just fell out on their own a couple years ago. So I have experience with them, and that was very, very helpful. So I'm going to put my glasses on just so that you can see the difference. I don't know, maybe it might not be a huge difference for you, but for me, when I went back to work and people started responding and noticing that I didn't have glasses on, I'm going to take them off because it's actually hard to see through. It was kind of unnerving for me. I was not able to wear contacts because of the dryness, and so I had had glasses for 25 years, and I felt really exposed. That was surprising. And I kept my glasses because I like the frame. It is comfortable, and they were really expensive. So whenever I need to have reading glasses, I might just use those frames. So something to think about to maybe prepare yourself if you do not wear contacts and you've worn glasses for a long time. It can be kind of disorienting at first in terms of being seen and not having that kind of protective shield on your eyes or on your face.